going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about big institutions that are buying millions and millions of shares of NIO. I got a little excited there. I'm not even going to lie to you. But before we hop into that, guys, hit that sub button. Honestly, it's the best way to support the channel. Also, link in the description for the Patreon if you guys want to hop into our private Discord, get you access to our portfolio, get you access to the April portfolio that we're going to be starting, where the Discord members get to choose which stocks go into that portfolio, and we're going to see how far we can grow it. That's what we're going to do. Also, just learned too the other day that we got YouTube membership, which allows you to, it's just another way to support the channel if you guys like. Right next to the subscribe button, there's a join button, and that gets you access to these little badges that will appear next to your name when you comment. They look like these. Like once you sub, or once you hit that membership or join the membership, you'll get this one. The longer you're subbed, or the longer you're a part of the membership, you'll get another bag, and then it's another bag. So we just thought we'd share that with you guys. Just another way to support the channel. You know, it's just another way to say thank you guys. And yeah, do what you want with it. But without further ado, let's give it some razzle dazzle and hop into it. So let's talk about these big membership, or these big institutions buying millions of shares. If we look at Fintel, me and Chad were doing some research over the past weekend, and what do you know, man? I think NIO is, me personally, I think NIO is oversold, and we'll look at another chart to kind of prove that. Yeah. But look at the freaking numbers these holders are just buying in. Yeah, like loading the boat. 6 million shares, dude. Right. 6 million. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. I know there's BlackRock, I think, is in here somewhere. Yep, right there at the bottom. Let's see here.
They just bought a little bit, but
yeah. BlackRock, Goldman Sachs again. I know we saw Fidelity in here. They're putting a bunch of NIO into their
right there at the bottom again.
Yep,
just
right here. All their
millions.
indexes.
Yeah.
I mean, just millions and hundreds of thousands of shares worth of NIO.
Everyone's loading the boat while it's cheap. I mean, only makes sense. At 3 million, 13 million.
Norwegian Bank, 13.6 million shares.
Yep, we made a video on that earlier this month. But yeah, everyone's just, not everyone, but a lot of big places are, like I said, loading up millions, if not hundreds of thousands of shares. So
question is, why are they buying? Why are they buying? If we look at our good old trusty stock charts, this is where we go to look at any chart that we talk about for, whether or not to buy, whether it's oversold, whether it's bought. We looked at this, what was it, 2 weeks ago or so, when we were talking about Volkswagen. Volkswagen had that massive run up when they were competing with Tesla, and it was clearly oversold. And then when me and Chad were both like, no, we're not going to buy, we're waiting for a pullback. And sure enough, a day or two later, massive pullback. It just tanked multiple percent, to kind of correct itself after that huge run up. And if we look at this, what's that?
You said it was oversold. It was overbought. You just
overbought. I apologize.
That's exactly what we said. It's way overbought. You could see it from the charts, the Volkswagen chart, and then a couple days later, there it goes. It tanked, and that's what we said we were waiting for. Because you don't want to buy in when it's way overbought. So that's what we said to do. Wait for it to pull back some, because it's clearly overbought, and it came down.
Right, exactly. And so if we look at this chart for NIO, let me go ahead and hide my camera real quick. If we look at this chart for NIO, you can clearly see that we're still well below that RSI of 50, man. We kind of want to hang around that 50, and then usually it kind of blasts off when it hits that 50, but we've been hanging below that 50 for quite some time now. So honestly, like, that tells me that NIO is completely oversold, and obviously there's good reason for it. People are thinking that, between the sanctions in the U.S. and China, those seem to kind of be getting worse. They kind of get a little bit better. It's just up and down. You also have the chip shortage. You also have just the new law that was put into place that we made a video about. People are scared that NIO is going to get delisted. Like, there's just a whole bunch of fear and with these Chinese stocks. But me and Chad both firmly believe in NIO, and this is why we always tell you guys, this is not financial advice. Always do what is best for you, your money, and your portfolio. But we are long-term investors in this, and this is why. Clearly, again, down below that 50 on the RSI index, still below the 50-day moving average, which doesn't surprise me because, obviously that's going to start coming down the lower we're below it. This could be a double bottom, where if we look back here, it, came down, went up, came down, and then blasted off to new highs right here. That's when we hit our $66, $67 mark. So is this that new double bottom? It's just another way to analyze your data. It may not always be true, but this could be it. This could be, could be it. We're trying to be optimistic over here. We're not trying to be Debbie Downers.
Yeah. So originally they thought it was going to be like a V-shaped recovery, like usual, but as you see, the V started and then it crashed again. So now we're hopefully in at the bottom of that second bottom, and it's going to be a W-shaped recovery, which that would be good.
Right. And I mean, you clearly see why they thought it would be a V-shaped recovery, because it was headed that way. Things started to turn around, it started to look better, but again, it did pull back. So hopefully, this is that W-shaped recovery, and it just goes off here to new highs. Again, we're optimistic on it. Not gonna say it's gonna happen, but hope, fingers crossed that it happens. It just kind of gives us a little bit of hope. Also, down here in the full STO, real quick, it's down below at 50 again, and once we saw it hit that bottom, man, it's when it went back up, and that's when we saw these new, this new start to kind of recover a little bit. So hopefully, if it starts to push that bottom, 20 again, that it goes back up. So.
Yeah, usually after you have these big pullbacks, usually after that it runs up and then you hit new all-time highs. I mean, that's usually how it goes with any stock. So, I mean, look at all the stocks after the big Corona crash. Everything went flying. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this started taking off too, because everyone's gonna catch FOMO and everyone's just gonna keep buying in as it's climbing. So
exactly.
Just a matter of time.
Yep, I think so too. If we go ahead, I'm going to turn my camera back on real quick. If we go ahead and look at the Tip Ranks chart on their stock forecast, so basically they have 10 analysts offering 12-month price targets for NIO in the last 3 months. So their average price target is about $63.64. And they, hopefully we can kind of get back up there. I think we will, as this chip shortage starts to sort itself out, as they start to deliver into Europe here in quarter 2 of 2021. I think it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah, that's going to be huge because, as we said before, they're the biggest market for EVs.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. I still think we're going to have a couple down days. I still think we're going to have, a couple more weeks of this up and down nonsense. Close your eyes, hold through it, and, just got to power through it, man. That's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing. We're just holding tight, and we're NIO strong, baby. We got them diamond hands over here. But also, the low is $38, which is actually below or just at where we're at now, from the last close.
Yeah, I think we're at 36.
Yeah, so we're just below that. I don't see it hanging there. Obviously, I think it's going to go back up. They do have a high of 81, which I'm hoping this is where it ends at the end of the year. By the end of 2021. Nice. What's that?
Yep. Just at least if it hits that by the end of the year, that would be nice.
That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. So I'm hoping anywhere between $80 and $100 by the year end, depending how their numbers go and, how the deliveries into Europe go. I think it's all just
the whole chip shortage and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just throw this in here real quick. Just more info about the chip shortage stuff. So, CNBC estimates that the global auto industry as a whole will lose $60 billion. That's a lot of money. And
that hurts.
Yeah, and the owner of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, they just announced yesterday that they're having to close down 5 factories temporarily because of this. So that's just, and a couple of videos ago, I had a big list of all the companies. It's pretty much all the big guys. They're all having to, shut down or pull back on production. But Lee said that production capacity, he expects it to increase by July. So that is good because, in Q2, they were saying that they're going to have to pull back from their original 10,000 a month to 7,500 a month. So, if that gets sorted out by, before Q3, that would be good because then they could go back to at least 10,000 per month. So
I agree.
As we said, we don't see this lasting all year, but it's gonna kind of suck for a little bit until it's all sorted out.
Right. I agree. And if we'll go ahead and do one more forecast. We look at CNN business forecast, just kind of give you guys a overall market. We're not just biased towards one. We try to give accurate information and give you guys the best information for your own needs. But they had 18 analysts covering 12 months, and their median was pretty close to what Tip Ranks was at about $63.49. You can see it here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here for you guys. But their high was $90.48, a little bit higher than Tip Ranks. So that's good. I'm still thinking between $80 and $100 by year end, man. It all depends on how they do and, you know, how the deliveries go. But their low is actually real low, clear back down to $17.80. Could you imagine?
Right.
Can you imagine the kind of hell that would bring to a lot of people?
Right.
So many people. But it doesn't, you know, it's good news to see that 11 other analysts had buy, 6 had hold, and only 1 had sell. If we look at tip ranks, they had 7 buy and 3 hold and 0 sell. So to me, it sounds like a lot of these analysts are saying, hey, buy and or hold NIO because, you know, there is still recovery coming. You know, eventually, hopefully, it's got to go up. So
yeah, because like we said, there's nothing wrong with NIO. It's the whole market, EV, even tech
Agreed.
sector in general. There's nothing wrong with NIO. It's just what's going on in the market right now. So.
Right. I agree. But yeah, that's pretty much wrapped this video. We just wanted to give you guys a little update on what a lot of big institutions are doing, what a lot of analysts are saying, and where we think this thing's going. Honestly, I think we both think this thing's going to go up. It's just a matter of when. We got a few, I think we're going to have another week or so, maybe a couple weeks of this up and down, you know, just people buying in, selling, making a little quick buck and getting in and out. It's just, I'm thinking we're going to have a couple more weeks until, you know, spring and this thing sorts itself out. Then hopefully blast off to the moon from there. But again, if you guys like this kind of stuff, hit that like, share, notification bell, all of that good stuff. It really helps support the channel. And again, link in the description for the Patreon if you want to hop into our personal Discord to get access to our portfolio and the April portfolio that we will be starting, obviously, in April. And again, the join button right next to the subscribe button allows you guys to do the YouTube memberships to get access to those cool YouTube badges if you want them. It's just another way to support the channel. You know, it's up to you guys. And again, if you guys choose to do any of that, thank you guys so much for the support. We can't thank you enough. And thank you guys again, and we'll see you in the next one.